Well, ladies and gentlemen, Mauricio Pochettino wants to build his Chelsea squad around a core of homegrown players. The Argentine is understood to have identified Levi Colwill, Conor Gallagher, Reece James, and Mason Mount. Let that marinate in your mind for a little bit. Let me know what you think about it. Ponder about it. We've got some news about Chukwuemeka as well. A whole heap of news about many other things along with Neymar. So it's going to be an interesting one. Let's go.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. I've got one eye on the Inter Milan versus AC Milan match, and Inter has just scored a goal to go 1-0 up. So they're 3-0 in aggregate. Lautaro Martinez seems like has scored. I will do a review on the second channel and talk about this match. Obviously, we've got some Chelsea interest with Lautaro Martinez and Andre Onana as well. So interesting conversation to have. But first up, as I said, ladies and gentlemen, Mauricio Pochettino wants to build his Chelsea squad around a core of homegrown players. The Argentine is understood to have identified Levi Colwill, Conor Gallagher, Reece James, and Mason Mount. Now, let me have a quick look at this particular goal. This is interesting. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Lautaro Martinez. Oh, what a finish, man. Mike Magnin probably should have saved that. But in regards to this particular news, look, Levi Colwill, A-OK. You want to build a team around homegrown players. Now, I don't know whether homegrown doesn't necessarily mean academy players or can it be English players, because I would have Chilwell in this list. I know a lot of you guys don't seem to fancy Chilwell at the moment. He is out of form, but then again, everyone is out of form. Chilwell, for me, comes across a leader, an absolute leader. Levi Colwill, massive tick mark. You know, the way he is growing in Brighton Football Club, the amount of great remarks we're seeing from De Zerbi, like the fact that he wants to keep him for another 2 to 3 years and develop him even more. That just bodes great for Levi Colwill's, stature. And the way he played against Arsenal, the bravery. There was a particular footage, as I said yesterday in my video. Levi Colwill tracked Odegaard all the way to Arsenal's final third, just to ensure Odegaard doesn't get, have that extra number in the midfield. He doesn't become that extra number in midfield, and Arsenal easily just builds up. Levi Colwill left his position and just tracked Odegaard all the way down. Just shows bravery. Also shows, De Zerbi revolutionizing this particular game of football. But for me, Levi Colwill, tick mark. Conor Gallagher, am I missing something? Are you guys missing something? Let me know. I mean, we're going to be competing against. At the moment, obviously, it sounds sad competing against some of those big dogs, but essentially, we should be competing against Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, Newcastle, Spurs, this, that, the other, all those teams. And then don't forget now, there's teams like Brighton and Aston Villa and all of those guys coming up. Is Conor Gallagher the level of player that's going to help us compete against those teams? Just think about it for a season, for a second. Think about it for a season. Think about it for a second on this particular, player. I'm not hating on him. I think he's a good squad player to have, but to build a team around Conor Gallagher, like along with those players, of course, does he have attributes that Pochettino could appreciate? Of course, the energy, the intensity, it's going to come in very handy to press from the front. But the technical ability, the final third decision-making at times, we need better, don't we? Surely we need better. Like, we cannot be sentimental about these things. Oh, homegrown player, academy player, let's give him a chance. No, they better be Reece James quality or Levi Colwill quality. Reece James, for me, world class. Problem with Reece James that I have in this particular list is he needs to be more focused. We don't need to burden him with this responsibility that we want to build a team around you. He needs to be more focused on how he can be fit, how he can be available for the team. In order for us to build a team around Reece James, he's got to be available. That should be Reece James's main concern next season. That should be our main concern as a club as well, that Reece James is just there on a regular basis. If he's not there, what team are we going to build around Reece James? Mason Mount, I mean, no problems. I do believe Mason Mount is going to be a key part to Pochettino's style of football at Chelsea Football Club, based on what we saw Pochettino do at Spurs. But Mason still has a lot of development to do. Mason's not the final end product. He's not a finished product. So this particular list, I would actually have Chukwuemeka in here. Honestly, more than you can believe, I would have Chukwuemeka in this list. The fact that Chukwuemeka's name's not getting thrown around here, and it's coming from Nisak Kinsella. How much do you guys want to buy into this? Is a PR? Seems like it's a bit of PR. And don't forget FFP. The whole, the word on the street was that we're going to have to let go of some of our homegrown players because they're going to make easy, profit, direct profit in our books. So how much of this is really, really true from Nisak Kinsella? There's been talks about that. We want to get rid of Conor Gallagher. But you let me know. Are you happy that those are the set of homegrown players? Look, I understand. We need a homegrown quota anyway. Every team needs homegrown quota. So I get it. I'm not against having homegrown players. Of course, we need to have homegrown players. But those ones, really, they're the ones that we want to build a team around. As I said, Levi Colwill, I'm okay with. Reece James, as I said, needs to be more focused on developing. Mason Mount, I can give a pass as well. Conor Gallagher, come on now. Carney Chukwuemeka will not fly with England's under-20s today. He will stay with Chelsea until the end of the season after injuries to Kante and Kovacic. Once again from Nisak Kinsella. This is true. He's not going. Look, we've done a dirty on Chukwuemeka this season. In a season where it's been so shambolic, we could have made something out of it by developing this particular plan. There was some some form of excitement that we saw from Chukwuemeka, from the little bits and pieces that we saw earlier on in the season. I'm just surprised at how this guy hasn't been utilized even more. Now that we've stopped him going to the Under-20s World Cup, which will be very devastating for him, I'm pretty sure he was looking forward to going to the World Cup, playing for the Under-20s squad, representing his country, England. Now we've stopped him. We better give him the remaining matches to start and play the whole 90 minutes. It will be a shame. The way we've treated him this season, no plan. We're getting all of these young players with absolutely no plan, and it's not good enough, man. We have to integrate them in, especially when they're talented like Chukwuemeka. This is what Frank Lampard had to say about young players. Chelsea's younger players must first impress in training. Frank is all about this training, which is fair enough. I feel like this is why Chukwuemeka is probably missing out. Maybe he's not getting impressed. Frank's not being impressed by Chukwuemeka. Before being considered for a place in his matchday squad, they may be looked at in the next few games. Of course, we have to try and get results for ourselves, so I have to think about that, and also putting out a strong team. Look, I understand. You want to get results. Of course, we do want to get results. But right now, I think Chukwuemeka will help us get results. Chukwuemeka is not someone who's going to hinder us to get results. It will be confidence shattering if Chukwuemeka not only missing out on the World Cup and doesn't play for Chelsea Football Club for the remaining matches, only 3 more matches to go till the end of the season. It will be confidence shattering. And at that point, I would honestly have to think about sending him out on a loan. You want to get results, no problems. Use some of these players, man. I'm very surprised that Frank Lampard hasn't, thought about Chukwuemeka. Is he not impressed? Chelsea's Levi Colwill is amongst names identified for a senior call-up to the England national team by the end of 2023. This is from Sammy Mobile. Fantastic news. And the other factor, going back to this news, the English national team, they don't do well. You have to remember. These players, and I'm not putting Levi Colwill into that mix, but Mason Mount, Conor Gallagher especially, Reece James, as I said, injuries. England as the national team is not that great. So I would rather focus on building a team around, your Enzo Fernandez's, your next season Nkunku and Wesley Fofana's, this, that, the other. Those should be the players where we build a spine around. Okay, as I said, you still need the homegrown players, but have a look at the English national team, man. They're very lackluster. But someone like Levi Colwill will definitely help that cause. I think that will be fantastic for Levi Colwill if he makes the senior team. And if England in the future wants to become a more dynamic team, exciting to watch, they need players like Levi Colwill in defense. None of these Maguire, just rubbish players that they end up selecting. Levi Colwill definitely has to be in the mix. Very, very brave. The way he, line-breaking passes from LCB position, those long lifted passes over the top to find the wingers. I hope he does make the English squad, if I'm being absolutely honest. Mauricio Pochettino's primary requirement at Cobham will be the installation of cameras to monitor every training session from a variety of angles. He and his staff have a video database of every training session and regularly refer back to footage in order to review their methods and tailor feedback to individual players. Fantastic. Put as many videos as possible. We need to give feedbacks to these players and making sure that they develop. This season, none of them have developed. And, sometimes we always ask this question, what are they doing in training? Are they getting the right feedback? Are they looking at the footage from the matches that they've played and working on areas that are in concern, areas that they can be better at, areas that they can improve on? I hope Pochettino, on a consistent basis, looking at all of these, not just in training, matches as well, and honing in on these players and telling them these are the areas where you need to get better. We see it as a fan, where some of these players are lacking. I hope they're working on this. Todd Bowley and Baghdad Iqbali are determined to have a collaborative environment when it comes to player recruitment, and the head coach absolutely has a voice in that conversation. Pochettino's conversations with ownership, Winston Lee and Stewart, in the coming weeks will help to shape Chelsea's strategy with regards to signing in this summer. So look, I've got no issues with Pochettino collaborating with owners, board to set out transfer plans and set out our squad plans. He needs to be part of that. The one thing I'll say is, as owners, I would like you guys to take a step back as much as possible. I know you want to be involved. I get it. You've spent a lot of money, you invested a lot of money on Chelsea Football Club. You want to be involved, but step back, be aware, step back and let Poch and the board sort of have all the crux of the conversation, and then the recommendations can be sent to you guys, and all you have to do is just sign off on things. I don't want where the owners are imposing a particular player. Like, we'll get to Neymar. There's Neymar news that's getting floated around, so we'll get to that. I feel like that's the owners may try and force the arm of Pochettino and the board. But yeah, Poch, look, it's got to be a collaborative situation. Poch, for example, wants Lautaro Martinez. I've been watching Lautaro Martinez, scored a really, really good goal. But overall, Lautaro Martinez, I'm concerned, is he really going to fit in? For predominantly this particular match against AC Milan, Lautaro Martinez, there wasn't much from him. It was getting bossed by the AC Milan defenders. I'm just worried that, when it comes to Premier League, the defenders are going to be even better, stronger, and it's not easy. It's very tight. It's you're not going to get so much space. You're not going to get time to think too much. So is Lautaro Martinez someone who's going to adapt quickly enough in the Premier League? So that's where the collaborative nature. Yeah, Pochettino wants Lautaro Martinez. What does the board want as well? They need to come to a compromise. It cannot just be a dictate from one or the other particular stakeholder. Mauricio Pochettino wants to build a family atmosphere within his squad, and for the training ground to be regarded as more than a place of work. During his time at Tottenham, he helped persuade Daniel Levy to spend a six-figure sum on constructing a barbecue area within the confines of the training complex where players and staff could socialize and relax together. This particular tweet actually got the like from Nkunku, by the way. So these players, they are quite prominent in social media, and they're going and liking this stuff. There is no suggestion just yet of a similar project at Cobham, and it is likely that most of the changes Pochettino wants to make will not be enacted before the summer. So look, create a homely situation, create a friendly environment, no problems, but at the same time focus on the football as well. I'm glad to see that Nkunku liked this particular tweet. I think since then he's unliked it, but people have taken the camera shot of it. Maybe it's a good thing for players. Players don't want to just only focus on football. They want to have that friendly sort of nature where families can get involved as well. Rio Ferdinand on Levi Colwill. We ain't getting him. He's at Chelsea. We ain't getting him. Did Man United think they were going to get Levi Colwill? That's mad. He's at Chelsea. They ain't selling him. I think Colwill is the best one they've got. I think he's better than Fofana and Buddy Shield. Did you see the way he was slapping the ball around against Arsenal yesterday from Rio Ferdinand 5 UK? Look, Levi Colwill, we have an absolute gem in hand. As I said in my previous video, we better be careful Levi Colwill has a certain skill set and strengths that is being utilized to the utmost level in Brighton. I hope that we bring him to Chelsea and we focus on that, and that we don't create a particular scenario or a style of football that, deviates away from his strengths and makes him look ordinary at Chelsea Football Club. We've done that many a times. We've brought in players that have looked great in other clubs. We've brought them at Chelsea and they start looking very, very ordinary. I hope Pochettino creates an environment, creates a style, creates a structure that gets the best out of Levi Colwill. Do you know what I mean? The way he is so brave under Roberto De Zerbi, that's the kind of bravery that I want to see at Chelsea Football Club as well. And yeah, it probably is been better than Fofana and Buddy Shield. And this is where the planning has to come in. Now we find ourselves with Buddy Shield and Koulibaly in defense. No one really thought about, planning things out with Colwill. And now it seems like there is surplus to requirements. So someone needs to go. I probably think it's going to be, Koulibaly. Wesley Fofana, Buddy Shield, Levi Colwill, they're the future. They're the future of Chelsea Football Club. So I like it. Chelsea are absolutely adamant that Levi Colwill will come back to Chelsea at the end of the season and will be part of the squad next season. This is from Matt Law. Once again, fantastic news that he's coming back. And I've got no issues building a team around him and then having him as part of the spine, one of the parts of the spine in building the future of Chelsea Football Club. I also want to prepare an official bid for Rice in the next weeks. Chelsea are interested. Look, Fabrizio Romano is saying Chelsea are interested. Of course, we've always been interested, but I don't think we're capable of getting this player. He wants European football. Arsenal looking. I think they're going to part ways with Granit Xhaka. There's some news about that in Fabrizio Romano's Twitter page. So they will be focusing on getting themselves a midfield, and I think they are going to be the front runners to get Declan Rice, and they can potentially offer a very good wage package as well. Considering we don't have Europe, we want to cut down on our wage structure. I don't think this is happening. I think Arsenal Football Club are probably going to get Declan Rice. As of today, at least, only Chelsea is a real minimal option for Neymar. Barcelona does not contemplate his return. I told you guys in recent times, there's not many teams out there that can get Neymar. There's only a handful, and now it seems like it's not even a handful. In the Premier League, Man City won't get him. Maybe Man United could be in for a shout. Newcastle in for a shout. Newcastle probably wouldn't want to rattle their nice, well-built squad with a player like Neymar. Let's be honest. He is high maintenance. The other factor is he's injured a lot. I love Neymar. I would love to see Neymar at Chelsea Football Club. There's no doubts about that. He's a charismatic, exquisite player. No doubts about that one bit. But is that what we need right now? All of the drama, all of the controversy, all of the headlines, all of the attention. The only way I see this happening is if PSG sends him on a loan and pays all his wages. I can't see any other way. He's on some exorbitant wages, man. There's no way we'll be able to afford all of that under the financial fair play issues that we have. Does he help us out? 100% with his creative nature, his goal-scoring ability. Can he stay fit in the Premier League? He's barely fit in Liga. But this is where I feel our owners, they may push for this particular player because he will sell you jerseys. He will sell merchandise. You best believe I'm going to be one of those ones that's going to get the Chelsea jersey with Neymar Jr. in the back of it because it's going to sell. It's fantastic to see. He will sell out stadiums. Bowley will take him around all over United States in the preseason. It will sell out stadiums. Exhibition matches, this, that, the other. So this is where I feel like take a step back. Take a step back, the owners. Do the right thing for this squad. Chelsea have watched Manuel Ugarte this season, but are working on other priorities as it stands. This is from Simon Jones. Look, if we don't get Declan Rice, looks like we won't. If we don't end up getting someone like Caicedo because he could be priced out, someone like Ugarte we really need to focus on. I think the combination between Ugarte and Enzo Fernandez could be devastating. And Ugarte only has like a 60 million release clause. Could be a very, very viable option for us in midfield. Given that Manuel Ugarte has a fairly reasonable release clause, this could be a smart business for Chelsea. We understand this month Chelsea have contacted George Mendes. That's the other factor. George Mendes is the agent of Ugarte, and he's massive friends with Todd Bowley and his team at Just Tifute to register interest. Chelsea have plenty of options. Pochettino will have a big say. Look, we'll see what happens. I like this player a lot. I truly do like this player a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts on everything we've talked about, especially the homegrown players. Do you like those players that we've that Nizak Kinsella has mentioned to build a team around? Would you have other players? What's your thoughts on that? Chukwuemeka as well. Give me your thoughts on that. Inter Milan has gone through to the finals, ladies and gentlemen, of the Champions League. Kudos to them. AC Milan, just no response, no goals, no nothing. Massive result for Inter Milan. Do look out for my review on this particular match in my second channel. I've got a lot to talk about, some of the Chelsea contingency players that we link with. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time, see ya.